You didn't say that, but you
I
implied
didn't
it.
imply it either. That's how you took it. You shouldn't have taken it that way. You're a grown man. So insecurities.
Right now, what we kind of do it is, I don't know if you look at the Pivot podcast. So it's three guys. They all play in the NFL, but when they come in, you see them in like they talking.
Yeah.
They just going ahead and talk, and then somebody do that, and then they'll be like, all right, this is the Pivot. Da, 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 da.
I ain't got no class.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Chris.
I'm Curvin.
Welcome to our first episode of 3 Roles, 1 Mission. That 1 mission is lover,
Provider.
and father. A conversation between 2 dads, husbands, and entrepreneurs trying to make it in this world.
Yep. Doing what we do.
That's right. All right, first episode.
Yeah. So we say the first episode. You want to tell them how it came about?
How it came about? Came through conversations, conversations we've had over the past 2 years, really, because we started talking more regularly over these past 2 years. So you know what? It'd be a good idea to put this on camera. And I was pushing it because Curvin already had a podcast, blowing it up in that podcast industry.
We'll say that. We'll say we're blowing up. Yeah, I like that. But I actually like podcasting though. It's cool to dialogue, put it on camera, even to the point where, and we talked about this too. One day, once it's all said and done, at some point, people will always be able to look back and say it. They said this, or it's kind of like you have something to give back to your kids, right? You always got something to give to them. But not only that, representation matters.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of people in the podcast field now, everybody got a show. You still want yours. You still want to put your name in the hat as well, because we can control that.
Yeah.
We can control the narrative. We can control what we put out there versus being dependent. It's kind of like the 90s, right? When the music was out there, it went from being a certain type of music that was being presented in the 80s to every time you turn around, it was just, was it gangster? Is that what they used to call it back then? Gangster music?
First it was conscious rap.
Yeah.
Then it went to gangster rap. And it just kept, gangster rap just started growing. It was like full genre. And actually with conscious, you also had those backpackers.
Yes. And with them doing all of that, right, the gangster, it was harder and harder to find the stuff that you wanted to listen to. And even with podcasting now, you look at it, everybody looking for that clickbait.
Yeah.
They want to say something controversial, and that's not necessarily what we're here for. We just want to have straight dialogue.
We're not here for that at all. Like,
if it happens,
it happens. If we go viral, I'll take the viral.
Yeah.
But I want that viral to run for a long time. It's more about having a visual and oral record that we can pass on to our kids. Because we do talk about things we did when we first met. This year be 30 years, bro.
30 years.
30 years ago. We met 30 years ago at Anderson College at the time, orientation.
Yeah. But technically, at the time of this recording and when we're going to drop, we have yet to meet each other. It's 30 years ago is 95, February 95. So February 95, somebody out there wasn't even born, right? And so I am a senior in a high school. And even thinking about that, right? You have no clue in high school where you're going to be, what you're going to do.
That's right.
The only thing that I had in my eyesight was just getting to college. It wasn't what I'm going to be when I grow up. It was just, I'm going to go to school. And at the time I wanted to be a business major. All I knew was I wanted to own my own business. That's it. I didn't know what that was about, what that looked like.
Yeah.
And for me, it was only, I want to own my own business, but the next step is college. Don't know what I'm going to see, what's going to happen after that. And 30 years later, here we are. I do own my own business.
Own business.
Yeah.
It's like, when I was So I was senior, and I was watching Different World. I was like, oh, I'm ready for college. It's gonna be like Different World. If you haven't checked it out, I think Netflix has it on there now,
Yeah.
A Different World. But I was looking for that experience. But I thought I was gonna be a bass player in New York Philharmonic when I graduated college, / a music teacher, working in the inner city and helping young brothers and sisters expand their horizon, getting that exposure in life. But look at 30 years later, I'm a business owner, not really playing music anymore, but doing I found my niche and found things that make me happy. And there's things we did in college that I definitely wouldn't do now, because sometimes we gotta let things go. We have to grow. So
Those experiences, they made us who we are, but in the same token, you can't continue to hold on to them, right? And necessarily we cannot necessarily try to duplicate them. For me, I have really fun memories.
yeah,
Like a lot of fun memories of us being together. And it changed from my freshman year to the year that I finally decided to graduate.
we both decided to graduate.
Yeah. It wasn't 4 years straight for me. It was, we added a couple of months, maybe a year or two on that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
But can you be that same 18-year-old you was in February of right now?
Nah.
Of that February of 1995.
Yeah, you cannot be young, dumb, and some of y'all know the rest of the statement. But young and dumb part, the dumb part shouldn't be a part of you, right?
Yeah.
Your experiences that you have shouldn't prevent you from having those dumb moments. We took risk. You did some stuff that you probably shouldn't have done, and you're supposed to learn for that.
You said you, like, whoa, like.
I don't know if I said you, but we took risk. But you definitely, I'm assuming you did.
Yeah,
I don't know your business. I don't know your business at all.
At the end of the day, like you're saying, mistakes I made and the things, and everything wasn't a mistake. Some things was fun and thought out, has shaped who I am today. Should I be going back and do the same things I did 30 years ago? Some things probably, but if I did it again, the experience would be different. Trying to dunk on Kirkman right now, I might hurt my back. I might be out for like 6 months. But I couldn't dunk then, I still can't dunk now.
Yeah.
But those things when I was younger really shaped who I am now. And through that passage of college, I took a risk. I did take a risk, and when I graduated college, I told my mom I wasn't coming back to Columbia, South Carolina.
You told her?
Yeah, I said I'm not gonna live in South Carolina. And moved to Atlanta, and then spent majority of my adult life in New York. That was a huge risk, leaving my comfort of friends and family and major support here. Jumping to New York. Would I do that now in this age? Probably not New York. I probably would up and leave if my responsibilities change. But I have different responsibilities now. And also, I can be broke in New York. Then I can't be broke in New York now.
No.
Like I've come to a place where I have a certain lifestyle that I want to live.
It's almost like you could be young or broke. You can't be old and broke.
No.
that don't go to. You got too many people depending on you, right? You got too many people that need you. But going back to being young and dumb, right? Back in the day, I wanted to meet everybody's daughter and go hang out with everybody's daughter. And now I got daughters, right? And I don't want them to meet nobody. So, and things change.
Yeah.
I think about how I was acting and engaging people. And when I see somebody that looks like me, I'm thinking of how I was, and I don't want them to treat my daughter in the same manner in which I probably cheated somebody else's daughter.
So,
And so I definitely want to let go of that.
Yeah. So I have a question. So are you on it when you talk to your daughters about young men? Are you straightforward, straight no chaser, or do you hold back?
I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not a straight no chaser. No, I'm not doing that at all. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I telling them the butt naked truth. What I will do though is kind of share stories here or there. How it goes, see if it connects. Usually I'm trying to share a story, let them know what's going on. So we see how it connects. So, but no, I'm not telling them the truth. I'm not telling them the butt naked truth, I should say.
I guess that's where we differ right there. Like, I'm very like straight up. Like,
I feel bad.
you know,
I feel really bad about some stuff.
like I've been there, done it. I can't change the things I've done,
Yeah.
but I can correct the path that I've led. Like, I can make sure my daughters know, and also have my son understand what the consequences might be if you want to do certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel. I feel bad, man. I don't have no other. I feel bad. I was looking at the Breakfast Club a few years ago, and Kurt Franklin was on there talking about, yeah, man, I was doing it so bad. It was like, Kurt, was you shooting people? And he was like, nah, I wasn't shooting people, but I was kind of out there. And when you really think about what I knew growing up, how I was taught, how I was raised, the morals and values that was instilled in me, and I was going the opposite of that. It's embarrassing to me. I'm disappointed in myself. And, along the way, you do hurt people. And I regret the hurt that I put out there. That part, we talking about letting it go. That part easily let go. Oh, the bad that I was doing, oh yeah, I can let that go. But some of the other stuff isn't as easy to let go. And that's the fun times we were having, the carefreeness that we had. Yeah. To some degree, I wish I can get it back, but you can't.
Yeah,
I got too many responsibilities.
I think we still can have that carefree lifestyle, but it has to be a little bit more centered.
Yeah,
like it has to be intentional and not just whimsical. Did your parents ever say, growing up, you know the truth? And by you knowing the truth, things going to be a little bit more challenging for you? Or you say you grew up with certain values and morals.
Yeah.
It's like you know the truth, like by growing up in the faith, right? In the faith, like you know the truth, you know right from wrong. It's like, so the consequences when it hits you hit differently because you know what the truth is.
Oh, you know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have avoided it. What for me, my thought is, I didn't have to kick out this amount of money. I didn't have to lose this type of time. I didn't have to fail this class because
Yeah. There's some classes I played around in.
Because I wasn't doing literally what I was supposed to be doing. My mom told me before I left the school, all right, you go off to school if you want to and try to party and do this and do that, you're gonna come right back home. And what I did, you might not know this, but I ended up coming home because I was supposed to graduate in May of, I think it was 2001, May 2001 I was supposed to graduate. And I ended up not graduating because couldn't get up to go to class because I was doing
everything but the right thing.
And so I ended up making a lower. I didn't fail the class, but I needed to make a certain grade in that class. It was one of my core classes. I think I had to make a B or something like that. But I ended up not making it. I missed it by 1 point. And so I couldn't graduate in May. I had to go back and take that class in the fall. So when she said, you're going to end up coming back home, I did for a summer. So I ain't have nowhere to go. I ain't have no apartment, none of that. So I had to come back home and stay with her before I go back in that fall. And I, of course, I say of course, but I did go back and pass that class and graduate. So, but yeah, it hits different, man, because you know better and you still don't do it. And then that's one of those things where, like, again, we talking about letting go. I had to make that mistake. My mom had to let me make that mistake.
But we didn't listen.
Right. And it's how much do I give to my kids? I don't want them to make a mistake. I don't want none of my kids to do what I had to do or what I did, not to have to do, but what I did in college. I don't want nobody to come home. I want you to go straight through. You got 4 years, do it in 4 years. You got 3 years, do it in 3 years. You send me graduating 6 years after you start. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. Unless you stopped to do like some type of internship or,
Right.
or something like, or
go abroad or something like that. But how much, in the same token, even though I don't want them to do that, you have to give them room enough to make their own decisions. And if that decision turned out to be a mistake, then all I can do is give you the tools. I can take what I learned, let go of, share that with you, and then you got to make that decision for yourself.
Like Kisha, my wife, she loves telling kids, like, you can experience things in several different ways. You can listen to my experience and tell you what would happen. You can do it and fall with the consequences.
Yeah.
You can learn the easy way, you can learn the hard way.
Yep.
And there's many things I learned the hard way, but I'm also glad I did learn the hard way. Yeah. So like you said, we let those things go. So one thing that's hard to let go is your kids, right?
Yeah.
Or anything, your kids, and if you don't have kids, anything that has significant meaning to you. And that can be leaving your parents, like we had to let go of our connection with our parents, that connection we had with our parents our first year when we left college for the first time. I think we transitioned. I think we let it go pretty well,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
But like, since we both have kids, how do you see yourself letting go of the ties you have on your kids?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit different from me. I don't really know. So, like you were saying, when we had to let go of our parents and you thought we did a good job, I didn't call my mom every day. I didn't feel the need to. I was okay with being in school, and my expectations is that my kids would be the same way, right? And so I'm okay with, and then also, as of right now, so my son is senior year, Peyton is senior year, and where he wants to go is only like an hour away.
It's an hour.
In my mind, that's fine. Now, if he was in Texas, if he was in Cali, I think it might be more difficult for me because I can't get to him right away. And then I will need that phone call from him more. So I guess it's the fact I'm looking at it like, oh, as long as I can drive up there, I'm good. And then it's a boy, whatever.
It's a little bit different for me. And I'm quite sure you asked my wife the same question. It'd be different for her as well. So I have a kid that's in California. She go to UCLA. Mm-hmm. I'm stumbling over my words. It's been a little bit easier for me to let her be, because I'm not letting her go. I'm letting her be, because my wife and I have been very honest and very transparent on life. We've told her things that she probably should try to avoid or not do, but we left it up. She has free will, right? Mm-hmm. So she has the will to do whatever she wants to. I don't talk to her every day, but my wife, she calls her once or twice a day, checking in with her every single day. I might talk to her twice a week, sometimes once a week, but I'll write her a letter. Sometimes it just be like a letter says I love you, in the mail. But I do think about her. Like, for instance, there was fires in LA County. I was concerned. My wife had a moment in a different way that she did end up leaving LA, going to stay with a friend. And my wife was like, "We need to go get her." I'm like, "We just can't just jump on the plane. It's going to be like 10, 12 hours so you even get there."
They shut classes down.
They went to online classes.
Okay.
Like we taught her, like going back to what I said, we gave her enough. She knows she able to take care of herself and think through things, which we gave her the opportunity to do while she was with us. She was able to think about her safety and make moves in order to ensure nothing would happen to her from that fire standpoint. And I let her be, but she always want to be with me. Like I'm gonna fully let her go. I don't even know if I can fully let any of my kids go in that instance, but they'll always be part of me, and how I'll be raising them and talking to them, and engaging them. The conversations we have makes me feel at ease about their next move. Well, I'll take that back because sometimes my son listens to us. Sometimes I have to say some prayers for my son. Like, will he be able to make it?
As one of my other friends say, boys are something different. They are consistently inconsistent. And I found out to be true. But going back to what you were saying, man, I really love how you say, "I'm not letting her go, I'm letting her be." And when just the wording, just changing wording, changes the perspective. And when you look at it like not letting go but letting be, then you can take the evidence, the facts. What have they done along the way to give you comfort in them and letting them be? Recently, my son has been having a hard, trying time this season with wrestling. And he had some injuries. They moved up in the class, so the competition is different. He moved up in weight class, and then his high school moved up in class. So competition's been different. He's learning his body, and he's getting hurt. And it seemed like it just wasn't going his way. What I really loved about him this past weekend, had a really great run of a couple of matches. And I said, what you doing different? Are you more focused? What happened? And he's like, yeah, a little bit more focused, but I reached out to a person that he's identified as a mentor. And that individual gave him some stuff to do, to read. He did it, and it benefited him. So he's taking, which I always encourage him, look, I want to be your only person in the world, but I know I can't be. You're going to need mentors. You're going to need people that you can reach out to and talk to. Do that. And he did it, and then it ended up working out for him. So to see that without, like, I ain't dead and gone and that, and I can see it, it's like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable with just letting him be. That makes it easier to not let go, but let him be. Yeah. I love how you said that. But on the other hand, it ain't always easy to let go of some stuff that I like.
Yeah. I was getting ready to ask you that question.
And I want to keep.
Yeah. So since you're saying that, I'm gonna ask that questions. What is something that you like that you know right now? Because we're in different stage of our life, season of our lives. That one thing that you like that you know you need to let go. You don't have to say what it is. How are you working on letting it go? Like, what's that transition looking like? And if you start that transition already, are you having like withdrawal symptoms?
Nah.
Not letting go.
I won't say what it is. It's not withdrawal symptoms, but for me, it's sacrificing a certain period of time and not engaging in it. So, say I might take a month away from it, or take a couple of days away from it, or a couple of months. And the more you start taking time away from it, the more you get used to not engaging in it. But when we're talking about one of the things I do in therapy is if you're going to get rid of a behavior, you need to replace it with a behavior. And that's probably been my greatest thing is as I let things go, replacing it with stuff. I was one when me and Melinda first started talking. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sometimes on Wednesday, I'm in the house.
Okay.
You know, we doing stuff around the house, we doing business. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
It's on.
it's on and popping. And again, that's not one of those things I was raised on. That's just what I did. And when it's football season, sometimes Sunday night, right? But as you get kids and our relationship start to develop, I started being in the house a little bit more and less out there. So I replaced it with family time as opposed to just hanging out time for me in the past. But that's how I deal with that. Either I sacrifice myself and get used to it, or I just flat out replace it. Yeah.
That's the same thing with me. I think things that I'm working on and letting go of, I replaced it with hobbies. I need to start reading more to replace my social media consumption. But I need to let that go because I'm strolling and not even paying attention to what I'm strolling to. But I end up moving into a hobby and really getting deep into my hobby. That's my replacement of how I let go. And also engaging my wife more, trying to get her to go out and do more things outside the house. And I do like being in the house, but I don't want to be in the house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do the same thing all the time too either. So like that's how I've been working on my things I need to let go, replacing them in that sense. And I like that. Replacing one habit with a better habit.
Right. Yeah.
So we wrapping up now. Like I know.
Yeah. How you feel about your first episode?
With God be the glory.
To God be the glory. I don't know what it is with this. You always want to take us back to church. This is a podcast episode.
We're not religious based, but we're a little choppy for the first one.
Yeah.
As y'all grow with us, as we grow and y'all grow with us, they will get better.
Mm-hmm.
We won't jump around as much, but you're definitely going to get a message. Hopefully, you got something out of this. Mm-hmm. Remember, sometimes you got to let things go.
Gotta let it go.
That was like so. That's our big takeaway: letting it go, and how do we manage that process of letting go? Like like we had kids. I have a kid that went to school this year. Kervin has a son who's getting ready to transition and to go to college. So like that preparations of letting go and the things that we can use to help us move to the next state. Instead of thinking of letting it go, just let it be. Yeah, we're gonna be here again. We got some more episodes coming.
Yeah.
Please don't let us go. Let us be.
Yeah, don't let us go right now.
Yeah, let us be part of your life. However we drop this these podcasts, like let you listen in. If you're not listening to us, follow us on the socials.
Yeah. We'll be on everything. Fan base, Instagram, TikTok.
If TikTok still exists.
For however long it stays alive.
Yeah. But we won't be dancing on TikTok.
Yeah.
We might be trying to sell a t-shirt.
We might.
Might try to sell a t-shirt or something on TikTok.
Yeah.
But 3 roles, 1 mission is my Instagram.
Yeah. And that's it, man. See, catch y'all on the next next episode. On the next rebound. Go ahead and turn that off right now. Okay.